How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Ruler 31. Mega, good morning. We are here discussing a little bit of truck racing, but first, talk to us about last weekend. How'd you fare?
Dude, I can't remember.
We had Road America, I believe.
Yeah, honestly, it's been such with the 4th of July holiday and everything's such a blur. I think we did decent.
Yeah, it was a bad Sunday for me, but everything leading up was pretty good. The process was there. Xfinity was, I believe, was fairly nice. Just, man, I don't know what happened in Cup. I think I had not enough Kevin Harvick. And I think I really stewed over the week, so it was fresh in my mind. But yeah, he was chalk and he kind of crushed me in. But we are here discussing the O'Reilly Auto Parts 150 here in Mid-Ohio. This is in the Lexington, Ohio. Rain all day yesterday. This is a traditional road course, and we have the trucks here, which is really surprising to me. I know this is something that they've done with the Xfinity series, but now that we have the trucks here, this is going to be a different element.
Speaking of Xfinity series, we're not going to do an Xfinity series video because we'll make it plain and simple. They haven't had qualifying yet, and Atlanta, since it's been repaved, is now treated like Talladega and Daytona without as many crashes. You're going to see a lot of lead changes. Ty Gibbs won the last one. He wasn't in the optimal lineup because he only led like the final lap when he made the pass. So you're going to look for place differentials. So look for good drivers and good equipment. They're starting towards the back and just load up on them. And the number one rule is don't feel you have to use your whole salary. If you build a great lineup and you feel and you're leaving like 5-10K, it's perfectly fine. And play light because it's becomes such a high variancing. I don't think there's gonna be a big, huge crash like there are on the super speedways. They seem to be okay with like controlling the speed, but differential is what you want to look at. You don't want to really pick many guys in probably the top 15. Xfinity, I mean, it's kind of a different breed than Cup. So maybe if there's like one guy up there you think can win the race, then okay, but you want to look for guys in the back.
Yeah, or at least starting in the teens, just to make sure, like if you have like all guy are starting 15th, I'd still think that's a pretty strong play, considering he's, a pretty safe driver, at least at Atlanta, but definitely something we're looking forward to.
But manufacturers too, like play all the like Gibbs cars, play all the junior motorsports cars are usually good at this junior track. So
that qualifying won't be till 10 a.m. Eastern time. So once we get qualifying, then we'll have an updated projection sheet and cores, and you can find all that in the Discord. You can find that link on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS or on our website FSIDFS.com. Okay,
like $3 for the weekend or something like that. It's really
good. Just throw a 5 in there and we'll break everything down for you. It'll be nice and easy. It's nothing crazy. So let's get into the truck series here for only 67 laps. This is going to be another place differential but finishing position type race. So Corey Heim has actually been pretty surprising of late. Your thoughts?
I don't know here, and I hesitate like to maybe play anybody in the top 10 in cash. But I got to look back at a couple of they haven't raced at a road course since it was like March, I think, when they did Circuit of Americas. But just seeing like what Xfinity has done on a couple road courses, they were like really hard to pass. And it was like pretty much the guys that were in the top 10 did pretty well because they're the ones that ended up there and like nobody lost. But I don't know how this one's going to play out. And I don't know if we can really look at practice and qualifying as the word of God because of the rain. Like some people had issues, which I don't know if they're going to have. So Corey Heim, he's a great equipment, but he's still a young driver and he's not like Ty Gibbs. Like he's talented, but I think he's got some time, and like I don't really consider him like a good road course driver. He didn't even get to race in the truck in the last road course because Kyle Busch drove in it. So I think he's very dangerous starting on the pole.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room to go backwards from this position, especially at 9,600. You're going to need that top 5 for the guy starting on the pole, you're going to need at least, 20 laps led. And I'm certain he can probably do that starting out. I'm just worried that if Corey Heim, I don't know, falls back into like the dirty air or just like in bad track position or something, then that might be it for him. So Parker Kligerman,
Well,
9,400.
before we go any further, let me explain the color. So I just took the yellow off of Corey Haim because usually in normal truck races, I color the guys in yellow who are ARCA guys that move up. There are a lot of like miscellaneous guys in here, but I can't really say any of them are like really road course ringers. And you don't have any of the cup guys or like Xfinity guys here because they're far, well, not far away. It's still the East Coast. They're in Atlanta right now. The teal guys are guys that are above average, like above the average driver. Doesn't mean that they're elite, but it just means that they're better than the middle of the field on road courses. You'll see a new color key on the left-hand side. Any idea what that is, TK?
I was just noticing that.
We've got 2 races left until
get the playoff stuff up.
So the ones that are lime green are locked in. The ones that are shaded in green probably have enough points to be safe to get in. So there's 2 more races. So there's potential for 2 drivers that are not in the playoffs already that qualify to get the automatic bids. So right now the orange guy is Kraus because he's like right on the line there. And then the red ones are the ones on the outside looking in. So it's really desperation time for Tanner Gray, Matt DiBenedetto, and Tyler Ankrum because it's pretty much win or get in because they're over 50 points out, and in 2 races, I mean, you'd really have to have Crafton and Enfinger like finish last in both of them for them to make up enough to get in. But so I just want to set that up because that could play into strategy here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call. But with Kligerman real quick, I'm thinking he's starting too far forward.
I know. I played him in 1 GPP. He had actually a miserable day. He's usually a pretty good road course driver, but we love him when he used to start in the way back and blow through the field because he had better equipment than anybody, and he didn't have enough points to like qualify correctly. So when they were using formulas, but now starting up here, he's already shown his hand pretty much, and it looks like he had a rough day at Coda. So I have him in 1 GPP lineup, but that's about it. I just wanted some exposure to him in case he is the winner and does go out there and like lead all the laps, which is potentially could happen, but I don't think it's likely. So he's not a cash play.
Yeah, it was certainly really good in practice. I'm just not really confident this is where he's going to finish, which is where we need him to finish. Now we're getting into some of these playoff drivers, so we can start getting into that aspect as well. Carson Hocevar, I think, is starting a little too far forward. Looks like he's pretty safe in the playoff race. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's right about there. He doesn't have the win yet, of course, but he's far enough ahead that he's not going to lose anything. Started 6th in Coda, finished 8th. So I know he's chomping at the bits to get his first win, and I think he might be pushing it too much a little bit instead of letting it come to him, and just like hitting his marks and stuff. And I don't think this is a course where you can do that and not end up in trouble. So I think that he's like a little bit risky here, like you said.
Yeah. Yep. Next up, we have John Hunter Nemechek, already locked into the playoff race, 10-9. I actually really like Hunter Nemechek today, and I'm going to like him for his potential GPP dominator. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree there. He started 11th at Circuit of America. He ended up 2nd. It was a battle between he and Zane Smith pretty much most of towards the end there. And I think he would have had it if they didn't have the overtime. But again, it's hard to fit him in your builds because there's other guys that are just a couple hundred less that have so much more place differential that screwed up in qualifying that can get up there. So GPP, definitely he's in my lineup, but I'm not playing him in cash.
Yeah, absolutely. GPP only, and especially because of the price tag as well. Matt Crafton, 7-8. I think he's starting a little too far forward for Matt Crafton at a road course.
Yeah, he's okay. He's got lots of experience. He's probably actually driven here at some point because he's been in the around so many years. But I think
cars for all we know.
Right, true. And you really just, I think he's going to be very conservative here because I think and again, he's already in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to lose it. So he just wants to go out there, turn laps. He's going to go for stage points because that's what's going to help,
Top 12, yep.
keep him. That's what his friend here, like he doesn't need the win to get in. So if he can go out there, run a clean race, get a good finish, and then move on to next week, repeat the process, then he moves into the playoffs and it's a whole new ball game. So I'm not interested in Crafton.
Me either. I'm not interested in this next driver either, although he needs a win to get in, and that's Matt DiBenedetto. He just hasn't been there for the Rackley War Machine.
And they had mechanical failure at Coda there. So I worry on road courses and short tracks. He's had issues with this truck.
Yep.
So they've been fine on like ovals. So if he was driving his truck in Atlanta, it'd be no problem. But
sure.
And Ankrum, I think, is
too far.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, Ankrum, no dice for me either. I do like their practice speeds. I think that's really encouraging, but I think much of what you said about Parker is probably the Skinner fall into the same category for me with DiBenedetto and Ankrum. Now, maybe I might take a shot on Ankrum just because I know the 16 truck is a little bit better than the 25 on most weeks, and that's because of the equipment, but I'm still not going to be overextended on either one of these drivers.
Right.
So Justin Marks, owner of the Trackhouse Racing and the Cup Series, running in the 41 niche truck.
Sexiest owner in NASCAR. Wish I looked like him. He's a good looking dude.
He is an old driver, and he was actually a really good road course driver. So this is not something to just pass over as a guy out here as a gimmick. He's kind of like the Todd Bodine of this race, I would say, where Todd Bodine's like, okay,
about 25 years younger though.
Well, you know what I'm saying, like old driver, veteran, but coming in.
The only thing is practice speeds were not really great. I mean, he obviously qualified well here.
It's qualifying came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a nice truck though. So I mean, I don't know.
Have Trackhouse with it.
Yeah, but Trackhouse has all like tech and stuff for like the next generation car. Like they don't really have anything that would really transfer to like a truck program. So
that's fair.
Yeah. And so I think he's very interesting. I think on the namesake and like he's going to have pretty high ownership. But again, I think I'll maybe sprinkle him into one GPP line, but he's not a priority. If he wins, he wins, but I don't really know if he has that much upside.
Yeah. Now talking through this actually might be a good opportunity to fade. Everyone is going to hear all week about him being the, team owner riding in the niche truck just because, right? High ownership, 8,600 is a really expensive price tag for a guy coming out in eighth. Now, if he was starting back of the pack, I would totally be in. But yeah, now that I talk it through, top 10 starting position, we're looking for place differential and finishing position. Does he really have a top 5 car? Probably not. So, or top 5 truck, sorry, probably not. So I'm going to be out. Dylan Lupton, 6,400. This guy came out of nowhere this week in the 7 truck. I can't believe he's riding in this thing. I mean, it's not a cup driver. Oh, they're in Atlanta. Yeah.
I have some notes here. Ran 1 road race in trucks, did average 5 races in Xfinity, 20 place average. So
yeah, this is out of nowhere for me. It's a fade.
Yeah.
Taylor Gray, David Gilliland Racing in the 17.
This is an awesome truck, but I don't know if Taylor Gray is the right driver for it.
Yeah.
I wish Justin Marks jumped in this one. That would be
right.
Awesome.
Now, why isn't that the case? All right. That's interesting.
Aren't his cars
in this truck? We've seen.
Aren't his cars Fords? Or the Chevys?
They're Chevys.
They're Chevys. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. GVP to fade.
This truck
here. Yeah, Taylor Gray, GVP to fade.
Yeah.
But I mean, the price tag's nice. I mean, certainly can't scoff at that. Okay, Connor Mosak.
Help me out here. Who's the 28 car in Xfinity that John Hunter Nemechek will jump into every so often?
Sam Hunt.
Okay, I think Sam Hunt and Brent Holmes, like to me, are like some similar aspects. I think in like truck and
I've been following this guy this week though. He's had some really good speeds.
The only thing that concerns me, he's a Tram-Am racer. So, I mean, he's got some experience on road courses, definitely. He started 8th in Portland for Xfinity and he ended up 28th. And it wasn't because of like anything mechanical or stuff. He just didn't do well.
Fair. I mean, I don't know. I've seen this guy in the top 15 like all week in practice speeds. He's getting a little bit of buzz on Twitter. I don't know if his ownership's going to creep up there. I don't like the price tag. 7,500 is a little sketch.
Well, you know what? Like I told you pre-show, and I didn't really tell you details. I was trying to build a lineup, and I was $200 short. And I think he was one of the options that I looked at to try to get $200 moving down from Kraus. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to throw him in like a $1 line.
I think you should. I think you should.
Because I'll have everybody else I wanted.
Yep. I think you should. I don't think you should because you don't trust this Brett Holmes Racing. I think you should trust the driver. I think he's good enough.
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
I trust the Brett Holmes Racing. I don't know if I trust the driver after.
Oh, I think you should trust the driver. I've heard enough about him. I think he's going to be all right. Grant Enfinger, 8,400 GMS. He's had some decent practice times. 8,400. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that concerns me about him a little bit is, again, same thing as Matt Crafton. He right now is kind of on the right side of the bubble.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he wants to really, go out there for the win. But even if he does stay out there for, stage points and stuff, he should get up into probably the top 10. So there should be a little bit of place differential there. So I think he's okay in cash. And I think he's going to be pretty highly owned just based on his practice speeds. But I don't think people are taking into consideration the playoff implication of it.
Sure. I would totally agree. And I do think he's better play than DiBenedetto, Ankrum, and Marks, though.
Yes.
And even Hyman and Kligerman. I think that upside of starting 12th at 8,400 is greater. Okay, prime play. This is a real easy one. This is the free square of the slate, Zane Smith.
Yeah, he won Circuit of America. He has just been really good on any track. He's doing what John Hunter Nemechek did last year, so hopefully he can sustain it through the playoffs and not fade out. But yeah, he's definitely a driver that is probably one of the most talented ones in the truck series now, and awesome equipment. So
yeah, he could just go out and just run a normal race, and the everything, his driving skill, his truck, everything can just carry him forward, and we don't have to worry because he's starting 13th. He's not starting second. He can just
practice speed. Yeah,
that's just in practice.
Slowed him down a little bit in the qualifying. So yeah,
free square. Austin himself is definitely, he is back. I mean, I'm not sure what happened when the 20 with him, but I'm not going to trust him here at 7,200, sandwiched in between all of these good drivers. I'm not sure he's going to get flushed to the back.
Struggled. He spun out so many times, ended up in gravel and stuff.
Yeah.
He started 15th and ended up to 27th at Coda. So even though I do have him as like blue as like an above average, it's just, I think Rust, like he just really hasn't been running as many races this year. So
hasn't been his normal self.
If we started 25th, we'd be locking him in, but
totally missed the joke. I said he hasn't been his normal self.
Oh, yeah, true.
All right, we're into Ben Rhodes, Thor Sport here, 10-4. I think he's a really safe play. I'd probably play him in cash if I could find
and that's the hard thing, getting Smith and Rhodes in cash, because you almost it's hard. So
they look like they have two of the best trucks. That was just from practice,
right?
So it could all change with a better weather day today. So we'll see. But I think
Rhodes was 4th and moved up from 13th position at Coda, and he won the dirt race, and he's always and the reason he
really good novelty driver.
Right. The reason he did do well at the Knoxville one is he had damage to his truck and like too much
Yeah,
like mud on
early.
the grill and stuff. So, but I mean, he's good short track guy. I think he's really good play. It's just hard getting he and Smith in the same lineup. It's possible, but it took me about 30 minutes to figure out what I wanted to. And the last guy in is kind of like,
Yeah, going to be some scary lineup construction today. Tanner Gray, 7,400. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing either of the Grays today, but this one has an opportunity to make the playoffs with a win. So
Yep.
he's going to be going for it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a decent truck. And yeah, he's gotta win to get in. He's one of the ones I think that's kind of the furthest down. So
He's one of the guys in practice that didn't perform well, but it looks like his team has really picked up the pace over the course of the day. I could see over the course of a full race, Tanner Gray playing out into the top.
and the
200.
pricing's not bad. Like it's a
Right. Yeah, 74. I could do that. I might play my guy Connor over him, but I could understand why you'd play Tanner over Connor. Kaz Gralla, 8K. I mean, this is a really strong play, really good road course driver.
yes.
Is the equipment going to hold up? That's all we're at. That's all we're asking.
He was in this truck, started 18th, finished 14th at Coda. So
Okay.
he's starting
Right around where
17th
we're
here.
at.
Yeah, so 3-4 place differential points, top 15. I'll take it.
I think we might need a top 10 with that 8K price tag, though.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to construction and what you do with the rest of your lineup. But if you're looking on someone safe, I think Gralla's there. Trey Burke, 5,100. This is not a basketball player. He is in the 20.
Dude, did you read my note?
No.
Not the Maverick shooting guard, open wheel guy with no NASCAR history. He's only 17.
All right, that's a fade. That's too much. It's and it's funny because Trey Burke is like 5'7", so
Yeah. Great NASCAR driver.
the wheel.
Give a phone book.
All right, Stuart Friesen. Yeah, definitely an on Friesen.
Yeah. And again, you can't get like Friesen and Eckes in the same line, especially if you're trying to get in Rhodes and Smith. So you got to pick one. And I think I'm taking Eckes here just because Friesen is locked in, but Eckes has a little bit more work to do. Plus, he had a better qualifying speed. He did better at Coda too. He was a 6. He pretty much held his position the whole day. I mean, Friesen wasn't bad. He finished 9th, started 7th. So again, they're kind of starting around the same spot, and hopefully they end in the top 10 again. But
yeah,
kind of splitting hairs here. But I think I like Eckes, but maybe there's a build where you pick between Smith or Rhodes, and then you play both of them.
Yep, that would be probably the stronger cash route, in my opinion. Where you try to take both of these low 9K drivers with Smith.
But Friesen traditionally is the better road course guy. So I think if you have to lean, then you go that way. But I put the prime tag on Eckes just because of the practice speed and just because of the playoffs. I'm looking at things other people are not looking at this week.
Got it. I like it. All right. Ty Majeski, 10K, no Thor Sport. I think the price tag has me a little cautious.
Yeah, I think he's a cash play. He's got great place differential. He had decent speed in practice. He's one of the first guys in my GPP lineup just because I couldn't fit him into the cash.
I like that.
And there was one build that I could do in cash where I dropped off of Rhodes and got him in there. Where I was like the one where I was 200 short, and then I raised my other guy up a little bit.
That
so
2v2.
Yeah, so that kind of worked out. But the only thing that kind of scares me is he's not really a great road course driver. And he started 19th and he finished 30th. And I went through the whole log of incidents for Coda, and he just was not having a good day. There was no pit like things that looked like happened to him. He wasn't in any wrecks or anything that I saw noted. And I just think that he just wasn't good at the road course.
Got it. Yeah, Yep, there you go. Ty Majeski might be strong play on the surface, but could be a guy that fizzles out at the end.
And he can go out there like in like practice and run like with not as many trucks there, like on and off, and run like 8th. But when
I
you have the
always,
whole field out there, it's a whole different.
yeah, I always feel that way about Haley Deegan. So,
Yes, yes. She's
all
great
right,
by herself.
yeah.
Best NASCAR solo truck act.
There we go. All right, Chase Purdy, Hattori 61, 6,900 is not bad price tag.
No, I mean, he's okay. Good
Practice was
truck,
mediocre.
okay. Just like mediocre here. So
Yeah.
if he fits in your bill, last guy in, I'm not gonna throw up in my mouth. Started 22 at Coda, got up to 16th. So same scenario here. So that's not bad. You're in sixth place differential points. So I can take that.
Last guy in kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
All right, Derek Kraus really like this play today, 7,700, really strong road course racer, in my opinion. I don't know why you don't have him teal. You're not on board with the Derek Kraus train?
I think if you feel that way, like this is a democracy here, we can.
Well, I mean, what do we always say about, or do I have him mixed up with someone else? I might have him mixed up with Alex LeBay.
Well, definitely, yeah, but he's an Xfinity driver, so
Yeah, I don't know where I'm.
no,
Well,
but I think I can see it. The only thing
can
I
he
think that
not?
here's why he lost his teal was Knoxville 21, because he's the one that was intentionally wrecking the whole field.
That's what
So
I'm
he lost his blue stripe, but we can give it back to him now because he was decent here. He started 14th, he finished 12th, so I mean he held his own there. He's 11th in practice here, so maybe he hit like some qualifying, but I have seen a lot of buzz on him. I do think he's his cash play at 77. He's the one that was having trouble fitting in, and I had to either drop down to Connor,
Oh,
or if I kept him in, then I had to drop down to Ty Majeski, and I'd rather I dropped one of my bottom guys down to somebody. So we'll go to that. We'll go over that when we get down there.
yeah, I really like the
But
I
we're at our
really like
10-minute
the
warning.
practice
So
speeds and starting 23rd. I just see him and I envision him inside the top 15 today. And I think that turns into an optimal lineup. Mason Filippi looked
he's in the
terrible in practice.
glory to God truck.
And
Only raced at Portland Xfinity, started 29th, ended 25th. So
there you go.
the
Blaine
equipment scares me.
Yep, Blaine Perkins, Jack Wood, probably some of the same story.
Yep.
Jack Wood,
Fade.
maybe, but nah. Lawless Allen in the knees 45,
It's actually
6,300.
becoming a decent start 24th and finished 11th at Coda. He's actually starting to come around as a decent driver.
Yeah, I like that level with that Coda. That's really strong to see. So Lawless Allen strong play, value play today. Haley Deegan, 6,700. I mean, it's a road course. There are times where you're by yourself, but man, whenever this lady gets next to someone, it's chaos.
Yes, definitely.
But I think that being said, I think she's a decent play at 6,700. Because she's starting 28th and she's not 7K or 8K even. She might be, this might be an opportunity for her to score the optimal lineup this week, but I'm still a little skeptical. Dean Thompson.
I'm okay with him. The practice speed just kind of really concerned me.
Yeah. One thing also I just found on Haley Deegan, she ran 17 laps in practice. That's like second most of any driver in practice. So she got a lot of time out on the track. Probably why she had the really high practice speed lap. But I mean, that's a lot of, like, I can look and see how she did in the lap averages. Yeah, 22nd. I mean, that's not terrible. She's going forward. Anyway, Colby Howard, your thoughts on him?
I think he's okay here. 17th in qualifying. He wasn't bad at
Yeah, I like this play.
he started 26th, finished 24th, and any guy that's like starting down here that can sub 6K that can finish where they start is what you need, is like a GPP flyer fill in, or like a cash last guy in.
Yeah, I think Allen and Colby Howard are two of the strong value plays on the slate. Chandler Smith, 9,800. Well,
Yeah.
two of.
Yeah,
Not all.
so Chandler Smith, I didn't put him as a prime play just because he's always so vital, and I could see him like. So there wasn't anything mechanically wrong with the truck. He just kept on spinning out in practice, and it was wet. So I don't know if he's just not good at this track,
Yeah.
but I mean, he was 18th, so that does show me. I think with the place differential and the quality of the truck and everything, and Kyle will wring his neck if he doesn't figure it out. So I definitely think they're squarely in the playoffs, so they can play around with like track position and stuff, pit early. They don't
Yeah.
have to win
Pit,
this.
short pit.
They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice to get some points for stages, but if there's this far back, they just might have to pit early in stage one before it and forfeit those stage points, and then have the track position for stage two and the rest of the race. So I think that's how it's going to play out, and I think that's, or they're going to have a competition caution potentially too because of the rain and wet conditions yesterday. I haven't heard officially or not, so I think that definitely helps him out.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff on Chandler Smith. Definitely haven't made my decision on him yet. All right, Kenko. What is it? Maria?
Yeah, he's a Euro NASCAR guy who in 25 road races averages an 18th place finish. So he's got tons of road course experience in Europe. So I kind of like this guy. And Wright, I have as a prime play right below him, who I really like too. And Prime's and Wright's the guy I want. And I think he's the best value play on the slate here, because Chris Wright, even though he's struggled at times, is a little bit better than a 33rd place driver. I think he can move up enough, or at least hold his position and make value there. But when I was struggling with the $200, I considered Mirror just with his experience starting right next to him in the same price range to potentially have I mean, the 33 is probably at some points has been one of the worst trucks out there besides the glory to God ones. So the 46. But I think, he potentially, if he knows what he's doing here, can like get up there a little bit. I don't see him like 3 or 4 laps behind.
Yeah, just have to make sure that you keep on the track with this pick.
Right.
And you're not running into any kind of issues or falling off the pace, or it'll get pretty bad early. Chris Wright, yeah, it definitely has is a decent play here for at least a high 20s finish. So that'll get you a solid gaggle of points. Timmy Hill, any thoughts?
Yeah, really like him here.
And
I think I like him better than Howard and Lawless Allen. He is a good course driver. He's in a decent truck. He had 20th, and his practice speed was better than well, I mean, Howard was like 17th, but you're saving $400 and you got more place differential. So I really like him here, but I couldn't make him the prime play just because like in cash builds, I just could not fit him in with the guys I thought other people would be playing.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty. Spencer Boyd and Stefan Mazzoli.
Stephen Boyd, no. And unfortunately, right now, I have Mazzoli in my cash build.
Ooh.
And I might rethink it. He's a senior at University of Virginia. He was a really good go-kart driver. He's been racing for years, and he's in the REILLY developmental program. So they're investing tools and training in him. He's not just the guy just hopping in this ride. This is somebody, this 43 truck, we saw Thad Moffitt in it. We've seen a lot of younger drivers in it, and they really have this truck designated as a developmental truck for future stars. I didn't see much road course experience, but he's starting last. And even though he was 35th in qualifying or in practice time and qualified 36 and probably wouldn't have made the race if there was the 37th truck. I think he's got no place to go but up, and he's the cheapest driver in the field. So, and it gives me all the other guys that I want. So I have my perfect lineup with my 5 guys. So if I have to come down off of Chris Wright to put him in to get the other 5 guys I really want, then I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Because we said place differential is the key here. And how many times on plate races have you taken like BJ McLeod starting 36 because you know that you can't go backwards, he can't lose you points, and this DK has this based on a 40 car system. So you automatically start out with 5 points.
Yeah.
So he cannot get any lower than a 5.
Yeah.
So that's 1x. So I get 1x free for him. And everything else is gravy. He can't give me 0. Whereas if I play like Trey Burke at 18th, he could lose 18 points for me.
Yeah. Mega is
And
feeling
if he
it
finishes
today.
dead last, I get negative 13.
I think you're onto it, man, and I got no arguments there. So your strategy is on it, and I think you're gonna have a nice day today. Looking forward to the screenshot later. All right, guys, that'll wrap things up for us here for the Mid-Ohio Truck Race. We are running out of time. Mega, thank you for joining me this morning. As we had mentioned earlier about Xfinity, wait till qualifying comes out around 10. You can find us in our Discord chat for all of the breakdown and projections and core lineups. You can find that on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS or on our website, FSIDFS.com. I am TK Nation 47. That is Mega Roller 31. Please like this video, comment below, and enjoy today's race.